Is a former NCAA track runner who had the unfortunate experience of racing against a male. We've testified together online, and it was an honor for me to give that brave and courageous young woman a hug today. Please welcome to the podium, Linnea Saltz.
Yeah! Woo! Get it!
Hi, thank you everybody. I apologize for having my phone, but just a good guidance point. But my name is Linnea Saltz. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak today. My passion for running wasn't something that started until later in my life, yet I recently made the decision to extend my running career for longer than I expected because of my love for the sport. I recently exhausted my NCAA eligibility as a graduate student at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., where I transferred after receiving my undergraduate degree from Southern Utah University in the spring of 2020. My day-to-day schedule, however, though, was a little different than that of a normal student. I would wake up on Monday mornings at 5:45 in order to get to practice, to rush to work from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., just to come home and go to classes for the remainder of my night. Although my days were long and tiring, I couldn't wait to wake up each morning and participate in the sport that I love. I sacrificed a multitude of things each day in order to focus on being the best that I could at my sport and represent myself as well as all women athletes across the country. All of this sacrifice seems so small though when I'm able to celebrate the successes of my training, but that was all up for debate in my last year of collegiate eligibility in the NCAA. Before starting my senior season at Southern Utah University, we received word that the first male to female transgender athlete was going to be competing for the first time in Division I athletics. But it was going to be a face that was familiar to me as they have previously been competing in my conference on the men's team at the University of Montana. Being the defending 800-meter Big Sky Conference champion, I immediately jumped online to see what I was going to be competing against that season. All of my hope was lost when I realized that the male-to-female transgender athlete I was going to be competing against had a personal best time of 1 minute and 55 seconds in the 800-meter, 10 seconds faster than the best season time from my season prior. I took a step back and realized that my senior year was no longer going to be about the sacrifices, the hard work, the pain and dedication I'd put forth the last 4 years. It was going to be about fairness in women's sports being stripped away right in front of me. An athlete that had previously competed on the men's team was now going to be racing against me and all of my teammates. An athlete that had a personal best time of 3 minutes and 50 seconds in the 1500 meter, which might I add was a world record time for women, was going to be on the starting line standing next to me. An athlete that was born a male and competed as a male at the NCAA level was going to be racing for a spot on the first place podium that I had been working tirelessly for. Being able to travel all around the country and not only represent my university, but to represent myself is a phenomenal feeling. Running against amongst some of the best female runners, not only in college, but in the world, was the craziest experience to me. As insane as it may seem, the pain, the shortness of breath, and all of the lack of energy I had after practice all seemed well worth it when I got to go onto the track and win. Track is something I worked really hard to be good at and sacrificed so much sometimes just to get a half of a second faster. Knowing that this is a feeling that many women may no longer be able to experience is a horrible thought. Men are able to celebrate fairness in their sports, so it should only make sense that we can as well. It is discouraging for girls and women everywhere to think that they may have to compete against an individual that has a biological advantage over them. Taking away our opportunities will run us out of the sports world, which we have already had to fight so hard to be a part of. Knowing that no matter how much time, energy, and effort women put into their sport, they may no longer be able to experience the feeling of being first place is devastating. Although there are women that are taller, that are stronger, and than that of an average athlete, they do not possess the physiological advantage that a male to female transgender athlete does. It is a biological fact that men have proportionately more muscle mass, more bone mass, and a lower percentage of body fat than women. Because of this, it affects the way that they run, lift, train, and compete in any sport. This is a bipartisan issue that boils down to biology. This is why women should be allowed to compete against other women and not forced to compete against men. What I experienced was unfair, and no woman should have to stand on the line, walk onto the court, or enter a stadium and feel as if they have already lost the competition before it even begun. Women deserve a fair chance, and although there is a place for everyone in this world, being an NCAA women's athlete is a privilege. It is not a right. We should proceed this process problem to ensure that women everywhere remain excited to participate in sports and continue to allow athletics to be a part of their identity. And that is why we are here today to save women's sports.
Yeah!